This is Jason from Excel Performance. Today I'm going to talk to you about pretty much the number one question I would get asked, and it's the first question that people ask me when they first come to the gym is how often should you train when you're in the gym, when you're first starting up as an athlete and you want to get better at your sport. You might be about 12 to 18 years old in between there, and you've never really been in the gym before, but you've been playing sport all your life and you need to train for whatever reason. Maybe you need to get bigger for your sport, or you just are good at your sport and you just want to get even better. So how I'd go about it is, say I'm a brand new athlete, I'd start the gym and I would probably start with 2 to 3 days a week. 2 days a week will get you in a pretty good rhythm in the gym. You'll make some progress with 2 days a week. That's good. But if you can afford 3 days a week, then I would gain 3 days a week, because that I find is about optimal. You can train a lot and you could also recover enough, and you're also going to make really, really good progress through about 3 days a week. Now, there's going to be this temptation to want to go in 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 days a week. I would really urge you not to do that. I would just stay 2 to 3 initially. Get used to the gym, get used to all the soreness and the muscle pain you're going to get from being in the gym, and really just get used to everything. It's a big change to go through right away, and 2 to 3 days a week is going to be fine. You're going to make awesome progress. You're going to you're going to be able to handle that muscle soreness a lot better that way. But if you're training 5 days a week or 6 to 7 days a week, you're just not giving your body this chance to sort of recover from all that. Now, if I was more of an experienced athlete, what would happen is I would go in, and I've been training, I've been doing 2 to 3 days a week. I would then push it up to 3 to 4 to 5 days a week. Now, I would do this 1 day at a time. So I would go in and I would do 3 days a week, and I find that cool. I've made pretty good progress with this, but I want to do more and I can handle it. So what I'll do is I'd add an extra day. So I'll do 4 days instead of 3. All right. So this will help me make even more progress, which is great. And when you feel like you can handle that 5th day, and then I'd add it in. Especially if I felt like 4 days wasn't doing it anymore and I wasn't seeing any progress, then I definitely want to push it up to that 4 days a week, and maybe even 5 days a week. Now, if I was in the middle of season though, this is where it becomes a little different. You've got school, you've got your sport, and you've got to train for your sport, you've got to compete in your sport, and then you've also got to try to recover with all that, and you want to add in strength and conditioning training to get better at your sport. Now, the way I'd go about it is, because you'd end up training about 2 days a week, usually for your sport, and you play for 1, usually, and this is a little bit varied for different sports, like tennis, say for example, you train more often, that's a bit different, and you compete a little less often, and games like football, you train less often and compete more often. So these will sort of change, but we're going to sort of go with the most likely case scenario, and you can kind of these rules will apply for any sport that you're doing. So so just try to understand that. So what I do is I would train the gym 2 to 3 days a week during season, because you'd end up training on 2 days, and you could be in the gym training 3 days, so that gives you 5 days of training, and then you go and compete one of those days. Or you can train 4 days, and so you can train for your sport 2 days and train for your strength and conditioning 2 days, and then play 1 day. That's how I'd go about it in season, and that would go if you're an experienced athlete or a inexperienced athlete. Both is fine. Some of our experienced athletes will do 5 days a week, so they come in the gym 5 days a week before they go out and train for their sport, and then they compete, and that's kind of how we go about it with those guys. Now, that doesn't suit everyone, and that's just okay, because some people don't need that much training, other people do, and in which case they make time for it and they do it, and that's just fine. And then in the off season, I would still start with about 3 to 2 days a week if you're a new guy. If you're an experienced guy and you've been training before, definitely push it up to around 5 days a week, maybe even 6, to make up for the time you're not playing and you're not training for your sport, and that can just keep you in really, really good shape, as opposed to not training at all and then showing up and getting absolutely smashed, or just training in the gym 3 days a week, and when you're used to doing 5 days a week training, you know, and that could, or 5 days a week training and then 1 day extra day competing, and coming from 6 days to 3 days, it can be huge deconditioning for your body. So your body gets weaker, it gets unfitter, it gets all this stuff, but you can maintain some of that if you can just be in the gym working on it. So that's how I would pretty much go about it, and that's how guys go about it. We got, you know, amazing success doing that. But if you've got any questions about how to go about training or anything related to training for strength and conditioning for your sport, definitely hit us up. I'll get back to you right away. Thanks for listening, guys.